going to talk about how we add posts and pages on a WordPress website. And I'm Mercedes Moss, and I'm recording for members.leanmusclebody.com. Members.leanmusclebody.com, and I'd like to invite you to go over there to become you can subscribe as a free member and learn quite a lot of information about WordPress and see all the other goodies that we have there. So let's get back here. How to add a post and how to add posts and pages to a WordPress website. Well, on WordPress, a page is a standalone area of content. In other words, once you add a page, nothing else is going to be added there. So here, for example, we have these 3 pages: GDPR links, privacy policy. We could have other standalone pages like terms and conditions, contact page, etc. They stand alone with their own unique and individual content. On the other hand, posts are constantly updating areas of content. They are usually assigned to categories. And so, for example, here, you see there's a category called WordPress tutorials. There are other categories on this website, but the posts are, and here's another category, WordPress security plugins. So posts would constantly be added. A new unique area of content would constantly be updated on this under this category. So when you go to the website, you would see the posts. They would always appear, the new posts being the first to be seen on the site. Sorry about the theme. I was doing quite a bit of work. I recorded about 6 videos on how to update a theme, how to add and install, etc. And I don't know, something keeps going wrong. But anyway, this is a post. So the newest post would always appear on your website first. So let's go back to how to add a new post. To add a new post, you come to the left-hand side of your WordPress dashboard. You see all posts and you can add new here. Or you can go here to on the top to new post. So here is an old post, but we're going to add a new post. Now, one of the things you need to work with is the title. Let me just introduce you to the anatomy of a post and a page. You usually have a title, a permalink. The permalink is the URL of the post, and that you usually would set on the settings permalinks. In this case, it's the URL and the title of the post. You could add media here. This is the visual editor. The visual editor is both in visual and the text. So if you click visual, this is where you would, do different formatting. So you would have headings. You could format your headings here, and your there, bold, italic, bullets, numbers, block quote, align left, center, align right, add link, insert read more. This would toggle the toolbar so that you lose the second part. This is strike through, add a line, text color. You get it there. This one is paste text, clear formatting, special characters, decrease, indent, increase, undo, redo, and keyboard shortcuts. This one is the distraction-free writing mode, so that you could type without the left sidebar visible. So on the right-hand side, you would find this is where you publish your post. You can click here to preview. This gives you the status of the post. You can move it to the trash, you can update, and this is where you would add categories. Categories are like main headings to which each post would be applied. So I have 2 categories right here, right now, WordPress tutorials and security plugins. So you would click on your relevant category. Tags are keywords that people are searching for in the search engines and these are the keywords that you would put here in order to help them to find your post. So all of these things, these keywords you get by doing what we call keyword research, but I'll do that in another video. We have some other features here, but you can all, one of the other important things is featured image. It helps to have a featured image on your post because that tends to add some interest for your readers. So let's go back here. So I should have said here that on the visual editor, you could do two things. One, if you click visual, this is you get this more user-friendly visual editor. But if you click text, you would add your content in HTML, which is a special type of language, but we're gonna focus on visual since it's user-friendly. So you can add your post but in two ways. One, you could type it, or two, you could have a post that you wrote somewhere else and you could paste it in. So to paste, you just do right click and paste. So I already have a post here for the purpose of thing. This is the ABCs of breastfeeding. So it's usually a helpful idea to type a category there, and it is so that this is what we call search engine optimization, and this is what one of the first things in in search engine optimization means writing so that your posts could be found by search engines and by people who are searching for this kind of content. So in order to find the best, there are different ways to find your keywords for your title, for your categories and your tags, but we'll go into that in another video. So you notice here that the permalinks is a number there. We don't want that. So let's see what will happen if we save the draft. You normally have to pay attention here. If it doesn't save it, if it doesn't save the permalink, then we'll write. You see that? So it just automatically updated your permalink. So when you right click here and when you're searching in the search engines, you would find what people want is relevance. If you have a permalink that just has numbers, URL and numbers, that means nothing to anybody. Okay, so now here once you have written in your content, you want to do things like what we call on-page search engine optimization. There's off-page and on-page. So you need to pay attention to making sure your post is well written, it's coherent, it follows, all the rules of good content writing, because on the internet content is king. So you need to write well. Now the first thing about on-page search engine optimization is that the heading, the title, or the keywords in the title should show up in about the first paragraph or the first line or so. So here you see we have a caption here, header 1. What are so we could do it like this, what are the ABCs of breastfeeding? I didn't write this, but okay, so search engine optimization. First thing, your title needs to show up in your first paragraph. So I didn't write this as I said, so we need to edit it to bring in this. So we could say something like, in this post, we are going to discuss the most important aspects of breastfeeding, or the ABCs of breast. Okay, so we will talk about keyword search. We'll talk about keyword search because that's important. Now, the first other thing I need to do is make sure that my headers are highlighted. So this, according to Google Matcuts, your first heading should be labeled as heading 1. I'm going to bold it a bit. right? If you want, you could give it a color, but that's not necessary. And here, the most important aspects of breastfeeding are the ABCs of breastfeeding. Okay, now we'll talk about keyword research because there are other ways in which you could say the ABCs of breastfeeding, you know, so that you don't repeat the same keyword all the way throughout. So there you go. Anywhere you have your keyword breastfeeding, that's the second thing, or related keywords, you need to bold them so they stand out for your search engine spiders and for your readers. So we need to have some breakup. The second thing, third thing, first thing, your title should have a category reflected there, and then the title should be, the first letters of your title should be in caps. I didn't say that. Then your first header, you should break up your post into smaller content areas, which are separated by header. So your first header should be heading 1, heading 1, and then all of your keywords should be highlighted in caps, in bold and italics. And the other thing is that your heading should be reflected very early within the first 2 lines or so of your content. So let's just break up the content now into headings. Okay, so I'm just going to put in arbitrary, headings. So let's just, this one says a common mistake. So that's common mistakes that women make when breastfeeding. So any header after heading 1 should be heading 2. So Matt Cutts of Google says all other headings can be heading 2. And I do agree with that, because when you get down to heading 3, 4, and 5, they become tinier and sort of too small to be visible. Okay, so let's see here. Then you could break up. I haven't read this before, but as we said, every heading must be heading 2. Okay, frequency. This one looks like something like frequency of breastfeeding. So let's put that there. Frequency of breastfeeding. Okay, so this would also be heading 2, because if you put I find really that as you go, add more and more headings, that the heading font size tends to become too tiny. So I'm going to bold this. Okay. All right. So let's update. Let's save it. Okay. Save it as a draft. And let's look through and see if we could find the keyword breastfeeding. All right. And see if we can highlight those keywords. So let's recap. Anyway, before we get there, we said your title should have ideally the category or the main content area that you're talking about. The first letter of every word in the title should be a cap, right? We're talking about search engine optimization. Your permalink should contain the post title or the page title to make it easily found in the search engines. You should break up your post should be a well-written document, with following the good rules of grammar, punctuation, good English, etc. And it should begin with a heading 1, and all subsequent headings thereafter should be heading 2, according to Matt Cutts of Google. If you want to add subheadings under each heading, I recommend that you do heading 3, so that it follows. Okay, the next thing we said is that your post title should be reflected in the first, at least first 2 lines of 70 words, some writers would say, search engine experts. And that is because when you're looking in the search engines, you want those keywords to show up, because when you're searching in the search engines, you would usually see the title of the post or website and maybe a few lines, so you want your keywords to show up. Your post should be broken up into well-written paragraphs, and beginning with relevant content areas, beginning with heading 2, and if you have subheadings there, you would add heading 3 and heading 3, so that you have a tree-like structure that is easy to follow. Another thing that helps with your optimization is to add images. You can add images in the post to make the post, look, attractive. So I don't have an image right here. So, but for the purpose of the video, to add an image, you go to add media. You can either upload a file, you can insert it from a URL, or you could insert it from your media library. So let's just take that one. And we said before that your image should ideally have an alt text, which tells you a description of the image, so that when it's found in the search engines, people could easily link back to your site. We're gonna center it. You could link it to a custom URL. So if you have an affiliate product, you could insert it there. So you insert, okay, and your image should come in. There it is. Okay, if you want, you could put a cap, and then you can update. You save the draft. Okay. The other thing that you can do is add a YouTube video. Okay. You're going to look for a Creative Commons video, because videos help to engage users and readers. Videos are most frequently viewed rather than text, which is ironic because search engines look for text. So you're gonna look for something like, you could search for breastfeeding, how to breastfeed, okay? And you're gonna apply a filter to look for something that has Creative Commons applied. In other words, those folks who have given Creative Commons permit you to reuse your video. Okay, so we apply a filter. What happened there? Okay, let's go back. We've got to start over. See, Megan, we're waiting for baby Sussex very anxiously. Okay, apply Creative Commons. And here are some babies videos that the users would allow us to reuse. Let's just take one to show you. This one is about the benefits of breastfeeding, which might be ABCs, I don't know. When you're writing, it's good to have prepared. So what you do, you just right click, copy video URL. You give them a like as well as a show of appreciation. I'm not signed in, so when you sign in, you can do that. Okay, like the video, you could give it a comment with a backlink to your website so that you get a nice little backlink there. You give a backlink by leaving your URL when you write the comment. And this is how you would add the video. Okay, you're just gonna find a relevant area in your post. You could also look for a video that has a lot of views, because that would help to give some, if somebody is searching for a video and a video with a lot of views, and if you leave a backlink on that video, somebody may find it and find their way to your website. So you're gonna click on add media, insert from URL. We're gonna put the link in here. Next thing you would see is that, give it a little while, the video should show up below here. Okay, then you go down to the right hand corner, right lower, and you click insert into post, and it would insert there. Okay, so you could also add a featured image here. See your video there? Add your featured image. Unfortunately, I don't have a relevant one, but the featured image would come up at the top of the post and give it some interest. It also helps when you if you're using all-in-one SEO and you've linked your website to WordPress, to Facebook and Twitter, those images would come up. Now, the other thing is that you need to add your tags, relevant tags here. Okay, and I have a plugin that does that for me, but I usually prefer to type in the keyword and search for the tag. So some relevant tags, you would get your tags from keyword search. Okay, so let's just put how to breastfeed. And remember, your tags are important because those tags are really keywords that people are looking for in the search engine, and that would help you to find help people to find your post. So those are some of the issues related to adding a post and a page to WordPress. Okay, and that would be page. So let's just hit publish and see what we get. If you're satisfied, you hit publish. I'll have to delete it because this site has nothing to do with well, breastfeeding. But we'll hit publish and then go over to the post and see what it looks like. And basically, you'll follow the same principles for adding content to a page. The only thing on page is you would not be able to categorize or tag the page, although I do have a plugin that allows me to do that. So let's click. Okay, it says it's not finished. Okay, it's post published. Yeah, it's published. So let's go. You want to see the post, you just click view post, or you can preview the post before you publish. I should have done that so you could get the whole picture. You can preview over here, and that's usually helpful because it helps you to, see what the post looks like and make any changes. Okay, so here's the post. I'm going to scroll up to the top. Okay, breastfeeding. So there's your category keyword there. The first letters are in caps. This is the feature image. I think it could be a little smaller. So if I, for the purposes of, the post, I would make it a little, you could format the image, edit it so it's a little narrower. Then you see there's your first heading. There are your keywords here, italics and bolded. There is your image. It's a little close. Maybe it could go down a little more. This is your header 2. So you see the post has some interest because it has an image. It has a video. It has okay, this one we would need to edit here somehow. You see the importance of preview. This one somehow got caught up with the header, the paragraph text. And there are your tags. Oh, it put back the tags. That's the tags I don't want. Okay, so I hope you get the idea. Let's go over to pages. You see it's the same concept. And nothing much would change for pages. Right? So you go to pages. and add new. You could see all, you could add new here, and it is the same concept, not much would change. You see, add page, add your media. So poke around a little bit, experiment, and do your business and enjoy yourself. Have a great day. Oops.